Welcome to the full, in-depth, spoiler-filled review of Hidden Strike starring Jackie Chan and John Cena, which is now playing on Netflix on the Brandon and Ryan Hour. I'm Brandon.
And I'm Ryan. And for those of you who have not watched this movie yet, there is a link down in our description for our spoiler-free review that was posted recently, so you can go check that out, and then come back after you watch the actual video movie. That's what it's called, the actual movie. Or if you don't care about spoilers and you just want to see what the movie is about, hang out and stick around.
Sounds good. Okay, Ryan. Let me have it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a mid-tier movie. Not 100% sure if it was supposed to be an action movie, a comedy action, buddy movie.
Buddy comedy.
It was kind of all over the place. One of my big gripes is the use of horrible CG in the movie. It seemed like 80% of the backgrounds were just CGI, and it really distracted me.
Horrible CG. I think most of your problem was with the background, like the landscapes and
right. That's what scenery. I just said.
Right, but you said the horrible CG, like that. Not all of the CG is in the background, but yeah, the unnecessary CG that's just there when they could have just been in front of a building.
Yep.
Or a mountain. Or,
right.
Some kind of natural thing.
Yeah, it was just 80% of the background seemed like it was CG, and it was not good CG, so...
I noticed it early on. I noticed it. I guess it was more heavy in the beginning because they had the wide shots trying to show you the whole landscape.
Okay, yeah.
Sometimes you really notice it. You're like, wow, that's definitely CG. And then other times you're like, that's CG, but it's not like slapping me in the face like it was a second ago. So it's kind of weird. I don't know. But yeah, I was kind of confused on the genre to begin with. It seemed like a very serious movie from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And so I thought it was, like a serious action flick. Trying to think, but
yeah. So like the first third of the movie, it seems like it's going to be serious. Maybe the first half, and then it kind of switches veins after that. It goes a little goofy. Like that's what they were going for. So I feel like it had a little bit of an identity crisis itself.
Yeah, it maybe it did. But so the main movie gets off started in this weird dystopian future that's in China where they have some kind of there's a war going on, and then there's mercenaries and military guys being Jackie Chan and his team.
Mm-hmm.
The whole driver of the plot, either I didn't read the subtitles all the way through, or it wasn't there, because I was like, what is going on? Like, okay, there was a war, oil and water are expensive, and there's been a threat made against this oil refinery, so they're gonna go get everybody out.
See, they never made it clear if there was a threat against the oil refinery, but yeah, they were evacuating people or head scientists from.
Well, they evacuated everybody.
Yeah,
like 500 people. But when they're on the choppers, like heading in, and they're listening to the news report, about what's going on. I thought they were going in to rescue people who had been kidnapped. And then they get there and then they're just like, "Oh, okay, let's get everything shut down. Everybody on buses." And I'm like, "What? I don't understand.
Right.
I don't understand." So it seems like it's like a serious action movie where it's just. I mean, it starts off quick.
Okay, yeah.
They just get right into it. Um, but I was lost on the plot and the larger world didn't make sense, and they didn't really explain it very much as you go along. You're just like, okay, this is the world we're in. You're not gonna figure it out because we're not gonna tell you. But good luck. Um, Interesting plot though. I mean, it wasn't bad. They just didn't flesh it out enough to make it make a lot of sense.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
Because I mean, if they would have spent like a few minutes explaining who the main bad guy was and why this oil refinery is in like the worst place in the world,
Mm-hmm.
that would have
That could have helped.
gone
Yeah.
a long way, making the narrative make more sense.
Yep.
Okay.
But yeah, so
Um,
that's how the movie opens, and then so it opens with Jackie Chan, then it cuts over to John Cena meeting with his brother and some mercenaries and getting money from them for some reason. Like I
I
have
think
no
his
idea.
brother owed him some money, so he's just paying
Okay.
him off.
But yeah, so his brother's working with a bunch of mercenaries, and he tries to recruit him for something, and he's like, no, because I'm living in this village now, and I don't need to. I guess.
No, I think it was something about what was it like, Death Highway or
Yeah, Highway of Death is where they were going. But even
yeah,
before he said that, he still told him no, that he wasn't interested.
yeah. I think it was because he knew his brother was kind of a douchebag.
Okay.
I think that was the point. But like, like that's when it got confusing. Is at that point because then John Cena starts making all these jokes that are kind of funny, and you're like, oh wait, I thought this was not a serious movie, but like not a straight up comedy, action comedy, because it didn't seem like your typical action comedy.
Okay.
And then he's like going off on all these nicknames that are freaking hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, John Cena absolutely brought the comedy, so the
Yeah.
nicknames were all good, and kind of seemed like through most of the movie, when he's giving people nicknames, he's just coming up with new ones each time he's talking about somebody.
But they know who he's talking about,
Yeah,
which is even funnier because he's like, I'm really good at nicknames. But did he say it was his superpower?
I don't know.
I don't remember. I think he did, which was kind of funny too. Um, um, yeah. So he's the not the comic relief, but he's like the main focal point from where the comedy hinges.
Yeah,
Because
that's
when
fair.
you're because like the first half, like you were saying, it bounces back and forth between Jackie Chan and John Cena. Like all the stuff with Jackie Chan is like super serious. He's getting the people out of the refinery. His daughter hates him,
Who
because he left his.
apparently worked at the refinery as well.
You just happen to work at the refinery.
Yeah.
But he said that's why he took the jobs because he saw her name on the list. Okay. Um, which is fine. I mean, that's typical. It's not uncommon for movies to just have a random family member in danger. Um, I think the seatbelt thing was supposed to be funny.
I mean, they kept coming back to it over and over again.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah. Um. So yeah, okay. So they're getting all the villagers, or not the villagers, the factory workers, refinery workers, whatever,
hmm
out of there in all these buses. Where they got all these buses from, I don't know, because the only way in and out of there is through the highway of death.
hmm
Yeah, okay. And they had to fly in,
right.
so
So, where
whatever.
did the buses come from? No idea.
Yeah. So they're leaving, and then all of a sudden there's a sandstorm.
Well, you kind of skipped over where John Cena went back to the village and met with Owen,
Oh, yeah.
and yeah, so John Cena ends up working with his brother and the other mercenaries, but you never get like the setup that he may take the job because he needs money to pay some company to get water
Hmm.
to the village, but they never go into it. Like it's
Yeah.
just kind of
It was just,
nebulous, and then
yeah. It was just his
when
brother
they're
offered him a job. He said
right,
no. And then it was like, oh, you need $100,000 so we can get you water.
mm-hmm.
And then he's like, oh, crap. And then
Yeah, and then it cuts
that's it.
back to Jackie Chan loading everybody up, and a giant sandstorm as they're driving or through the highway of death.
Yeah. I think they got through I guess, the main bad part where all the people, where all the cars were or whatever.
Uh huh.
And then there was the sandstorm. And the one lady's like, the weather says 0% chance of sandstorm. And I'm like, and then Jackie Chan's like, there's something unnatural about this sandstorm.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm like, all right, is there some kind of weird technology that they have in the future to make sandstorms? Anyway, so yeah. So John Cena, his brother, and his weird mercenary crew are in dune buggies,
Mm-hmm.
and somebody marked the a bus with an X, and that's the bus they need because it's got the leader of the main scientist or whatever for the refinery.
Uh huh.
Um, so their whole thing is just to get that bus to go off course, and then they can kidnap the people they need to kidnap.
Yeah, basically
And so the thing with John Cena, like his brother told him that this person was like, a,
responsible for killing a bunch of people that they knew.
like a top terrorist or a top um enemy like military guy.
Mm-hmm.
I think there was something about rebel armies or something. I don't remember. It's hard to remember everything when you're trying to watch a movie and read the movie,
Uh huh.
and they would jump back and forth between English and Chinese too often. And sometimes within the same two people would speak in English and then Chinese. I'm like, can you just freaking pick one? Dang it. So annoying. Did learn how to say a few of the Chinese names correctly though.
Oh, good
Like,
job.
oh, that's how you pronounce that. That's interesting. Very interesting. I, I liked how his name, I don't know if it's not his name, but they kept calling him Dragon.
Dragon. Yep. Dragon Lao.
Jackie Chan. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, China, we know you love Jackie Chan. He is Dragon. Anyway, so
But yeah. So they end up getting the bus that they needed.
yeah,
There was another bus that one of the mercenaries got on and started to take over. and then they just kind of abandon that entire subplot because the next time you see him, he's with the rest of the group, and they've only
'Cause they,
taken the one bus.
yeah, they didn't need that bus. They just took the one bus
Yeah,
because they just wanted the scientists off of the bus.
yeah.
So yeah,
So I don't know why they attacked another bus or how that mercenary that was on that bus got off of it to get back with the main group.
I miss that too. I was like, I don't know what's happening anymore. And it was kind of hard to tell which bus is which
Mm-hmm.
because it's a sandstorm, not
Right.
for any other reasons. um,
Yeah. I mean, there's a bunch of buses in a sandstorm. So yeah.
yeah, I'm like, okay, which one's which? And um, they like normally, I don't know about normally, but it seems like most of the time in a movie when there's a situation like that, they don't call people by their names. Like it's, they have a code name like, bus 1, bus 2, whatever, red,
Yeah.
blue, green, yellow. So it's easier for you to follow who's where and doing what. Or, color coding. Yeah, like color coding. Get some red shirts out there so I can know who's supposed to die, please.
Yep.
uh okay, yeah, so then Jackie Chan and his daughter takes
Uh-huh.
his daughter to go find the scientists.
Yep. So they get back on the helicopter, get the helicopters to meet them where the bus is stopped.
Mm-hmm.
They get on a helicopter because she knows the desert for some reason.
Oh, because she was a surveyor. She surveyed the whole desert. That's right.
Okay.
I mean, kind of makes sense, but it also makes sense that he just wanted his daughter near him.
Right.
So, it didn't bother me. It was just like, okay, this has to happen because they have to. She has to go on the mission so that they can rekindle
Repair their
their
relationship.
relationship. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Um,
So while that all is going on, uh, John Cena and Mercenary and Co. are get the 5 people they kidnapped and go to some place and they meet Owen, who apparently is the mastermind behind this
oh, you
whole.
you skipped a part.
Did I?
Yeah, you
Don't
skipped
care.
the part where they're flying in the helicopters and they see the jet engine that's creating
Oh
this
yeah.
giant sandstorm. It's covering many, many square miles
Yep.
because they're blasting a jet engine into the
Into
ground.
the ground. Yep. Okay.
I mean, it might make a sandstorm, but not for miles. It might make a little sandstorm. But anyway, and then they have a shootout with um, the helicopters, and that's when we get more of the nicknames.
Mm-hmm.
And then they shoot down one of the helicopters,
Yeah, that
and
goes down
then
off
they,
screen without any
yeah,
kind of an explosion.
yeah, they landed. It was a controlled crash.
I don't know about that because it went over a mountain and then it just disappeared.
Disappeared. Yeah, it was. I was like, okay, they didn't show it crash, so maybe they show up later, but they never showed up later
Yeah.
to like save the day. Like, okay, they just forgot the explosion part.
Yeah. Or it was too expensive to make an explosion.
I
Who
wonder what the
knows?
budget was on this movie.
Do what?
Said I wonder what the budget was. Estimated 80 million. Interesting.
Yeah, so they meet up with take the hostages where they're supposed to take them, and then Owen, who is supposed to be John Cena's friend, shows up, and he's apparently the big bad of the movie.
Okay, that was the same guy trying to fix the water pipe.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't catch that.
How did you not? It's the exact same person.
Because when he showed up on screen, I was like, why do I care about this stupid mechanic?
Okay.
I was literally like, I don't. This guy can't fix the pipe. I just thought it was something like because it was like the UN or something like that or whatever organization.
No, he worked for some company.
Okay, it looked like it was some kind of like international, you know, help thing. I don't know. I was like, what is this guy? This guy's. I don't care about this guy.
Okay.
I didn't. Yeah, I did not realize that was him.
Yep, same guy.
I mean, up until this point, the movie is kind of annoying.
Yeah, it's very disjointed, not a
Yeah,
clear storyline going on.
yeah. Um,
Yeah, so John Cena gets mad and leaves, and then
because
they
he was
kill his
lied to
brother.
about who they were kidnapping.
Do what?
Because he was lied to about who they were kidnapping.
Yeah. So he leaves. As soon as he leaves, they kill his brother because his brother couldn't make him stay
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that didn't make
or
any sense.
something.
Yeah, reasons.
So John Cena takes off. Jackie Chan and his daughter are still flying in the helicopter. See John Cena in a dune buggy by himself, and then decide to follow him.
Yeah. And then they play catch.
Yeah, they play catch for a little while.
And that's part of why I was confused is because they're playing catch. Like he just shows up. They're playing catch, having a cordial conversation. So kind of, I was like, okay, do they know each other? And like either like directly or indirectly, like have they worked together? Have they just been in passing because they work in military circles? And apparently, like his John Cena's dad was a big, I guess, the owner or whatever of their um, hired gun company.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so yeah, so I was like, do they know each other? And then like 5 minutes later, they're still having a conversation, but now they're fighting.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I'm so confused. So confused.
Yeah,
But anyway.
So yeah, John Cena figures out that his brother's been killed. Jackie Chan had followed him from the village to the place where he goes to find out that his brother's dead. They have a fight.
Yeah, that's when they
Seems
had the
very
fight.
formulaic. Like, hey, we've got to have an action scene every 10 minutes to keep this interesting.
Well, it's the whole the thing in action movies where I don't know you or trust you until we fight.
Yeah, but like I'm just saying, it looks like this movie has a very formulaic set to
Yeah,
it. Like
definitely.
every 10, 15 minutes, we have to have some kind of action happen.
Well, I mean, yeah, I guess that's not atypical for an action movie.
Okay. Yeah, so they fight. A bunch of French guys show up
That was random.
because they needed to get paid for weapons they delivered.
Yeah.
And then they just leave because one of them ends up accidentally pulling a grenade pin out of a grenade.
Oh yeah, Jackie Chan was holding a grenade and John Cena accidentally pulled the pin.
Yeah.
And then those guys are like, "Nope, we're leaving."
And then they just walk outside and start shooting up the building.
Yeah. Like they didn't deliver the guns or weapons to them, but they were just like, "Yeah, we'll kill these guys because they're here." And
What
then
are
they
you going to
just
do with the
leave
French? Yeah.
after they,
Shoot up the
unload
building
them.
for a few minutes and then they're like, all right, good enough.
And then and they're like hundreds of feet away, and
Mm-hmm.
John Cena's just like throwing grenades out the window.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is that even doing? It was just a comedy bit for the grenade stuff when the whole don't pull the pin, and then
No,
Jackie Chan's like, pull the pin.
he said it's in the bin
Oh
because
yeah,
they ran out.
yeah,
It's in the bin, and he's Like, pull the pin? Okay.
Yeah, he's like, pull the pin. He's like, did you pull the pin? And he's like, pull the pin, okay. He throws it to him and he's like, I pulled the pin. And like, it's like, okay. It's another. I mean, at that point is when I started to realize that it was kind of like it started to become more like a Jackie Chan movie
Uh-huh.
where they have the misunderstanding because of the language communications and um, back to oh, what are the movies called? Dang it, I'm like completely drawing a blank. Um, you you know what I'm thinking about, but I
I
can't
know what you're
remember.
thinking about. It's not Lethal Weapon.
No.
Uh,
Um,
I know exactly
oh,
which one.
Shanghai Noon and Shanghai Nights,
Uh-huh.
and oh,
Rush Hour.
Rush Hour, and others, right?
Right.
Um, why is Rush Hour not showing up?
I don't know. But yeah, so anyway, they decide John Cena needs revenge because his brother's dead, and Jackie Chan has to save the people who were kidnapped, so they start working together from there. So
Yeah,
that's kind of when the movie picks up, I guess.
I would say so. That's when it actually starts becoming more interesting, and it wasn't just. It became more cohesive, and um, they really started sticking to the point
Mm-hmm.
of like, okay, it's a Jackie Chan movie. There's going to be fighting and action. There's going to be, you know, the random jokes based, sometimes off the language barrier. And they did the same thing where, like in Rush Hour, where um, Jackie Chan makes fun of the guy that speaks English in
Mm-hmm.
Chinese, but then the American has learned some Chinese,
Yeah.
and that's just I'm like, okay. Like when all that started happening at that point, I was like, okay, now I know what this movie's about, and I think I can enjoy it more. But until then, it was just all over the place and
Yeah.
confusing.
It was a little bit of a slog to get to that point.
Yeah, really was. We almost sandbagged it, and we're like, nah, we're gonna do something else because it was. And I didn't know about the subtitles until when it started opening, and I was like, oh, this is a Chinese movie.
Mm-hmm.
I bet there's going to be a lot of subtitles, and there was.
Yep.
So I'm pretty sure this movie was made for the Chinese
The
audience.
Chinese audience. Yeah.
Yeah, which is fine, and it actually it does a good job of translating for the most part, except for that weird, first third opening act being a little convoluted and not being able to find itself. But the movie finally finds itself, and then you start getting into the rhythm,
Mm-hmm.
and you just start enjoying it more, which is kind of a sigh of relief. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah. So Jackie Chan and John Cena start working together, and I
Mm-hmm.
mean they did a good job together. Both
I
had
think,
some good
yeah,
comedy. There was some jokes in there that didn't land, but when you know it's a Jackie Chan movie, not every joke is going to be
yeah,
a gold star.
yeah, it's just how it goes. And then but sometimes it's funny. The joke doesn't land right, so the joke it's not funny. But it's funny that they tried to make the joke with Jackie Chan.
Uh huh.
So like you're like, okay, it still kind of wins, gets a pass. I can't think of any offhand. Um, oh, the flat tire thing.
Mm-hmm.
That was one. You're like, okay, this is a dumb joke to make,
But
but
Jackie Chan made it.
after like the
Yeah.
third time, you're like, it's kind of funny, and he's really starting to piss off John Cena. So the joke's not funny, but it's funny. Um, okay, so the main part of the not the main part, but I guess so. Owen is just trying to get into the refinery so he
Uh
can
huh.
steal
To
hundreds of thousands of barrels of oil.
right. And to do that, they need a dongle that the lead scientist
They
or
kept calling it a dongle.
yeah, they kept calling it a dongle, even though it was a USB key.
I think a couple of times towards the end they said USB, but most of the time when the
Yeah,
Chinese people were talking, they called it a dongle.
yeah. The only person who didn't call it a dongle was Jackie Chan's daughter in the movie. She called it a USB key. Everybody else
Okay,
just referred to it as the dongle.
the dongle, the dongle with the 4-digit pin
Uh huh. To turn everything back on.
to turn on the whole refinery
Right.
in like a minute.
Yep.
No,
But yeah, so
but
they were just
anyway,
trying to steal a bunch of oil from this country and I
yeah,
guess try to sell it somehow.
that's what like if you steal that much oil and you got like they showed all the tankers
Uh huh.
waiting. I'm like, how you're in a giant tanker? They gonna find you.
Right.
Where are you gonna take it to sell it? Where they're not gonna find you?
Right.
You just show up in a random country. Hey, oil for sale.
Yeah. I
Oh,
don't know how that works, but okay.
yeah, I don't know. And then, well, they were like, they had tons of tankers.
Yeah. But then, so they get the entire processing plant back online, oil
Mhm.
refinery back online, start pumping the oil, disable stuff so it can't be turned off, and then John Cena and Jackie Chan never stopped it.
Yeah, they never went back and turned it off.
Right.
But then they destroyed the dongle, though, right?
Yeah. So the
Yeah,
bad guy destroyed the dongle so that they
right,
couldn't turn it off.
right. So, but the dongle wasn't. It didn't make sense. Like this is China. They make all of our technology.
Yeah.
Like they should have been able to write this better. The dongle doesn't control it. The dongle was just a security key to turn
Uh
it
huh.
off and on.
Yep.
You can't download all of the information onto a little USB stick to run the whole refinery. So I just thought it was a security key.
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh, I broke your security key. Bet you'll never find another dongle in China."
Yeah.
What are you talking about? There's probably a closet full of them for no reason.
Yeah.
um. Okay, so before we get to the refinery part, um. Oh, okay. So they're in the village, and Jackie Chan, his daughter, and John Cena are in the village, and then they start like learning about John Cena and why he's there and taking care of all the orphans.
Mm-hmm.
And then they sing the song, which is supposed to be dumb. It's one of the jokes that didn't land. And but what I thought was hilarious is when the mercenaries show up to find the dongle because the one scientist told Owen that Jackie Chan's daughter had the dongle.
Yep. No, he said, well, so it was in the bag that she had that also had the lead scientist's phone. And he said you can find the bag by finding the phone.
Yeah. So they track the phone. Then they show up, and Jackie Chan and John Cena try to fight them off, but there's just too many. Um, and then the guy's like, the main bad guy or the main mercenary is there. He's like, "We just want the bag," and he's
Yeah.
like, "John Cena, you just want the bag? He goes inside the house,
and then
grabs
just
the
takes the
bag,
bag
and
and
is like,
here you go.
"Take it. I don't give a crap about this stupid bag. Don't be shooting out my village."
Right.
And then they just leave with the bag.
Yep.
And what's her character's name? I don't remember. John Cena's daughter, or not John Cena's daughter, Jackie Chan's daughter. He's like, "Why'd you do that?" And he's like, "I don't care about that stupid bag."
Yeah, he cares more about the people in the village than he
Yeah, he's
does
like, "I
about
don't
that
give a
bag.
crap."
Right.
Yeah, which I thought was hilarious. And usually they never do that. They're just
Uh-huh.
like, "Fine, here. No, I don't care. I don't even care what's in the bag, but you can't have it."
Yeah.
It's usually what they do. So it's kind of it's just different and hilarious that he's like, "Take it. I don't give a crap. Take the
Yeah.
bag, leave." And then all of the villagers, some of the villagers had guns, and some of
Uh-huh.
them had
Had
hose, and they
big
had the
corporate
hose
hose. Yeah.
like they were aiming the hose at the people. And then when the people left, because I was watching this one guy, he like had it. He's like, "Get out of here, guy!" And then they leave, and then they go behind the building, and then the one guy like he's like, "Okay," and he drops his hoe. Like, I'm like, what? What the heck? Like, I get you're just an extra,
Uh-huh.
but as a little extra guy. um
Yeah, so
so
that happens, then they go to the refinery to kill the bad guys and save the hostages.
yeah.
And I mean,
And
it's
like,
just
why
standard
did
third
John Cena
act.
go? Wasn't
Because
quite sure his
Owen killed
motivation.
his brother, and he
So it's
was
just
going for
revenge for
revenge.
him.
Yeah.
Okay. Uh,
So I mean, it's just a basic action third act where they're just trying to beat the bad guys with karate and muscle.
yeah. So Jackie Chan is no surprise to everybody, but Jackie Chan's getting old.
Uh huh.
Um how old is he now? I don't even
He's in
know,
his
but
60s.
he is 69.
Yeah.
So yeah, getting up there for action. Some of it I'm like, okay, that's him, and some of it I'm like, I don't know, but it's probably him because it's not. It's definitely not on par with the stuff he was doing in the late '90s.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, he's definitely slower and still jumping over stuff and doing that kind of, weird acrobatic fighting,
Mm-hmm.
but isn't as physical as it used to be.
Right.
It's like, all right, I get it. You're old now. Also, there's a thing called stunt doubles.
Yeah, but he likes to do
Also,
his own stunts, so.
yeah, but I mean, like realistically, like, I guess he's still in pretty good shape at 69 to be doing that kind of stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Um, I guess if you can do it, do it. It's not like he's jumping out of planes like Tom
Right.
Cruise,
Uh-huh.
or all of jumping motorcycles off of cliffs. But
Yeah, but Tom Cruise also isn't that far behind him.
no, yeah, Tom Cruise is in his mid 60s too,
Mm-hmm.
early 60s.
I think it's early
Whatever.
60s. I think he's like 62, 63.
Yeah, so I mean, it's not far behind, but I don't know. At some point, it becomes somewhat unbelievable that a 69-year-old man can go hand-to-hand combat with 30 grown men in their
Mm-hmm.
20s and 30s.
Right.
And why? Like, they have guns.
Uh-huh.
Like, you see them all. They're like, oh, we've got guns. And then, like, 2 seconds later,
They're all trying to fight
they're
hand
all
to
trying to
hand.
stab him.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like,
Just
Don't
pull an
show them with
Indiana Jones and
guns.
start shooting people.
Yeah, don't show them with guns and then have them pull out knives. Just like have them not have guns first.
Right.
Because then I'm not gonna put my gun down to have a knife fight with anybody. Um. Anyway.
Yeah, so a whole bunch of action happens at the oil refinery. Bad guys start taking off, leaving after they set it to where the plant can't be shut down.
Yeah, the foam scene was ridiculous.
Yeah,
That went on for way too long.
but I mean, it was just a way to give Jackie Chan his main moment in the movie, showing off his acrobatic skills. That's
Yeah,
all
I
it was.
guess. Yeah, I guess so. But I don't know. It was just it was it was it just went on for way too long.
Yeah.
And yeah, okay. So there's oil going to the coast like this quick,
Mm-hmm.
and but then they're also like, you know what? We got some tankers. Let's
Yeah,
take some
like 3
oil
or
with
4
us.
oil tankers with him. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like they're like, oh, well, we'll just take a little bit with us. Okay, I didn't get that,
Nah.
but um,
Yeah,
so then
so
they
they're leaving, and then Jackie Chan's daughter shows up in John Cena's car or truck,
truck. Yeah, his
and then
Land Rover.
crashes it as soon as he gets in.
Oh yeah, because she wants to jump some random hill.
Well, she crashed it when she was trying to pull out first.
Oh yeah.
But yeah,
That
and
was the
then
lyric.
they're following Owen, the main bad guy, who's in a dune buggy ATV type thing, who makes a massive jump in it, and then she's like, "We can do it too," and rolls the truck and ruins it.
Was there like something they were actually jumping, or was she just like flooring it for no
No, it
reason?
was just a giant hill that instead of going slow over top of it, they were both just flooring it.
Floored it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And the whole time she's like making fun of his truck, which was kind of funny.
Yeah.
So okay, yeah, they crashed the truck, and then
Jackie Chan shows up in the giant truck
the jet truck.
that had the jet on the back of it, the jet engine on the back that they were using to make the sandstorm.
Yeah.
And then they're like, "Oh, you know what we can do? We can actually use the jet engine to make this thing go faster."
Yeah. Which I don't know. It was you knew it was coming like the whole time.
Yeah.
It was kind of cool. So okay, yeah. So they do the jet truck thing, and then the 3 oil tankers are coming, and so they crash into
The
one
back
of
of
them,
the first one.
and
Crash into the back of the first
yeah,
one, which
they crash into the back of
spins
the
it and
first
makes it
one,
explode.
makes it explode. They
They
spin,
spin around, light the
and
other one on fire, that makes it jump up in the air and do a backflip.
yeah, the whole truck just comes off the ground, does a backflip, and lands on the other one.
And blows that one up too. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
The physics
That
really check
is
out there.
that is a really strong, powerful jet engine to pick up a tanker that weighs thousands of tons,
Mm-hmm.
just straight up off the ground and do a backflip. So then the last bad guy is Owen. He's trying to get away. They chase him down again with the jet truck.
Mm-hmm.
And then John Cena's like hanging onto the side of the truck. And Jackie Chan's telling him to jump. And then it goes to John Cena and he's like, I can't hear anything you're saying. And
Yeah.
how do you know he's talking then? But anyway, so I guess I don't know. I don't know how they went over the cliff, but Owen didn't.
Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, so they go over the cliff. They're like hanging. Owen is like trying to like knock him off, but then his dune buggy flips over.
Uh huh. And he
And
goes off the side
yeah,
and gets his comeuppance.
right. And
And then
yeah,
John Cena.
so Jackie Chan and his daughter are like looking around. They're like looking over the cliff for John Cena.
Uh huh.
And then like after a minute,
He
John Cena
just
climbs
climbs
over the
up.
cliff.
Yeah.
Like, how did you? All right, we'll let you have it. And then the ending, uh, it was kind of funny, where Jackie Chan's like, "Oh, I have an idea how we can get off the side of this cliff," and they're just yelling for help.
Yeah.
It was pretty freaking
That
hilarious.
was a really good joke.
Yeah. So then it shows like the special forces people like raiding the tankers,
Yeah.
and you're like, okay, but what about the refinery? It's still on.
Refinery's still on, still flowing the oil.
Yeah,
Anybody
like I
gonna take
don't.
care of that?
Right. Like it's just going. Find a uncle quick.
Right.
Um, but okay, what I did like, or another thing I liked, was the end credits where they had
The
all the
bloopers.
bloopers and outtakes and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. They're always sometimes they're funnier than the actual
Than the actual
stuff
movie
that's in the
was.
movie.
Yep.
So they're pretty good. Um, so I think it was just I don't know, just that first act where they didn't have the movie find itself.
Yeah.
They didn't, yeah. Because I think in all of the other movies that are similar to this, that I can compare it to, that are Jackie Chan movies, the the two main characters meet earlier in the first
Early in the
act,
movie. Right.
and the first act is them forming a relationship,
Mm-hmm.
and then they go on with the missions.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, other than not being able to understand the world, um, I wouldn't mind seeing another John Cena, Jackie Chan action movie.
Hmm.
It was, I thought they did well together.
Yeah, I mean they definitely had chemistry when they were actually on screen together.
Yeah.
Um, it's kind of hard to take John Cena as a serious action hero though, which it feels like
Why?
that's what they're trying to make him into. I don't know. He just
I don't know. Serious though?
yeah, like
I don't know about serious.
I feel like he's trying to follow in like the Rock's footsteps, but I feel like he's going to be more of a Hulk Hogan. He's just going to be. I don't think he's going to be a leading man. I think he'll do a few movies here and there, and that's it.
Oh, I mean, he's been in a lot of stuff. Usually not. Well, most of the movies I've seen of his aren't. He's not the leading man.
Right.
I think he's in the. Oh yeah, he was in the Fast and Furious franchise. But I don't think he's doing. I think now that he's stepped away from all of the wrestling stuff, um, maybe he'll get better. But I think he plays that comic relief big guy well.
Yeah, that's fair.
So he could, I don't know, if they find the right role for him, he could probably be like a Ryan Reynolds mashup, the
Okay.
Rock Ryan Reynolds combo.
I guess I could see that.
Yeah, it
But
just depends on the role. So yeah, I mean, I guess that about wraps it up.
yeah,
Not too
that
much
pretty
more to
much
go
covers
over.
all of it. So
Yeah.
if you guys did make it this far in the video, make sure to hit that like button. Give us a subscribe if you wanna, if you think that we did a good job. And yeah. Yeah, also make
uh,
sure to follow us on Twitter. We're also on Rumble, so you can check out our videos on whatever platform you want.
Sundays we do spoiler-free movie reviews. Mondays we do spoiler-filled movie reviews. Thursdays we do something else: TV show, comic book, whatever we want to talk about. Um, uh, Leave some comments on a movie or a TV show or something you'd like to listen to us talk about, and try to work it into the schedule. And with that, we will see you guys next time.